Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to have a look at the Equinox class. We'll be taking a look at the Vanity shields available from the Dilithium store during certain events of the year, and the only shield currently available in the Zen store. As always, there's chapters in the description down below, as well as other links that I'll cover off at the end of the video. One thing to note on this one is that the Bizarre collector effect on this ship means that it won't change with the Vanity shields. So first up, we're looking at the Alliance Vanity shield, which is currently the only shield available in the Zen store. It comes as part of the Khitomer Alliance bundle, where you get the shield, the uniform and an upgrade. So we have a white patterned hull material with grey and gold shading, along with this red piping here. The top deflector there, we can see the patterned cyan lighting for it. Then we're the same here on the main deflector with a solid cyan insert in the centre. As I mentioned in the video intro, we have an animation effect here for the Bizarre collectors, so they do not change with the shield. Then we've got the cyan lighting there for the nacelle. We have the red, orange, yellow and white and back again effect there for the impulse engines. And then we can see this triangular pattern there nicely as the light's hitting off it, and all the different hues on each of the triangles. As I've mentioned in quite a few videos now, this is the standard material on Alliance vessels, such as the Rex, the Garrett, the Khitomer and so forth. So the fact that they've replicated that effect within the shield itself is a very nice touch by the art team. And you can see the full extent of the different shades for the hull material. Right in there on the top of the nacelle, you've got that cyan lighting as well. And the same here on the underside, some more cyan lighting here at the front. Yeah, you can still see the triangular pattern there in the grey. Engine trail wise, it's the standard Federation one. So we've got the red and the blue, which if they just changed the colouring slightly, it would have married up quite nicely with this shield. Moving on to the Dilithium store now. This is a Safe Galaxy Refit Vanity shield. So we've got this patterned grey hull material. It's almost like an urban camouflage kind of effect to it. We have this yellowish and white deflector effect, and the main deflector is quite nice touch with the grey inner part there separating them, so it does look quite nice. See the extent of the pattern effect there on the hull material. Then we have this patterned almost golden nacelle colouring here. Same there for the impulse engines. Not impulse engine, should I say. And on the side we've got some more of that yellow lighting effect there. Engine trail wise, they do marry up with the engine effects that the shield is producing on the ship. So we've got the slightly more golden, deeper yellow there, and the lighter yellow from the nacelles. Popular shield in the game, this is the Bow Vanity shield. So we have this black hull material, which is making the red stand out really nicely against it. Now with this cyan lighting here on the top deflector. And again, we're seeing it here on the main deflector with a cyan and white insert here towards the centre. And we see a cyan lighting here on this part of the nacelle, which is the correct nacelle colouring. But then we have this white colouring here, so that's not the normal nacelle colouring for this shield. The lovely red impulse engine there. And we can make out this etched pattern within the hull material. And have a tilt the ship down a bit. We see it standing out a bit better as the light hits it. Then on the underside here, again, just a touch more of the cyan lighting here at the front. And I'll zoom out so we can see those engine trails again. So we've got the red, which is correct for the impulse, but the blue is just the standard Federation one. Isn't light enough to tie up with the cyan, which it should be, and it's definitely not anywhere near the white that's currently applied. Next up we have the Borg Vanity Shield. So this gives your vessel the look of a liberated Borg vessel. We have a grey patterned hull material, and the pattern is made up of various shapes and sizes of hull plates. Looks a bit overstretched here on the edges, unfortunately. Then we've got this lovely blue patterned deflector, and then we see this black conduit material here, and we've got some almost yellowish lighting there and some blue lighting as well on it. That's parts of the hull that don't have the hull plates. Again, you can see some over here at the front, and it's zoomed in quite a bit. Again, that nice patterned deflector there, and again some more of that conduit material. Again, this just looks like the hull plating pattern has just been stretched quite a bit to cover this area, unfortunately. And the top there, again, more of that conduit material with blue lighting. Got the blue nacelle colouring there. And the blue centred nacelle colouring, and it is darkened out at either end. Then we have the blue there for the impulse engine. Some more of that conduit material on the top here. And then just some more of the blue lighting there on the underside. And this shield has no engine trail effects on it. Next up, we are looking at the Courier Vanity Shield. So this is one of the older shields in the game, not to be confused with the new Breen Courier Vanity Shield. So we've got this almost bare metal effect here for the hull material. Got some black shading there as well. Got this very bright white patterned deflector here. And we're the same here on the main deflector. You can see the white there underneath the orange dome there of the nacelles. Some more of the black shading and the white nacelle lighting there on the top. Same here at the rear. White for the impulse engine. We've got black here at the back. Thankfully we don't need to put the sunglasses on for this one, as the light isn't hitting it at the angle that it does bind you, but just be forewarned that if you do take this into brighter maps or the Earth Space Dock ship customizer, you will need sunglasses, as it is a very bright hull material when the light bounces off it. Now on the underside, some more of the black shading. You see different shades of grey there, that metal effect of the hull, and some more of the white lighting there. For the impulse engines, we have the standard Starfleet ones there. So we've got the blue and the red, and then we've got almost this boiling water kind of bubbling effect there off of the impulse engine. So if they made the trails all white, that would have been perfect on this shield. So here we have the Discovery Vanity shield. So this is one of the shields in the game that has 2 different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, you get the look of Starfleet vessels in Season 1 of Discovery. So we have this 2-tone patterned grey hull material. This white with the blue spoke effect there for the deflectors. This nice blue and touch of white there, insert in the centre. We see this white, blue, almost white honeycomb pattern illumination there. Again, you can see this bluish white pattern effect there for the Bizarre Collector, and you can see the animation effect there on the orange dome, so it's almost like a gas inside it by the looks of things. Then we have the blue there for the nacelle colouring, which is correct. This white with a blue honeycomb. Nope, not the nacelle colouring for this shield. We have the red honeycomb pattern there for the impulse engine. See the different shades there, and you can see the pattern here on this slightly lighter grey areas. On the underside, some more of the blue illumination here at the front. Engine trail wise, for some weird bizarre reason, it's white. So this should be on the Courier Vanity shield, and the one that's on the Courier should be on this, with the red impulse engine, and should be blue for the engine trail off the nacelles. This is the Discovery Vanity shield on a Klingon aligned character. So we have this pattern brown hull material. Then if I zoom in here, see this orange, yellow and white deflector pattern on the secondary, and here again here on the main, although it does give a blue glow to it, so not quite sure what's up with that. And then as we come round, don't see any glow there from the nacelle, but we have the red and white pattern here at the back, which isn't correct. Then we have the yellow and white there for the impulse engine, touch of green illumination here at the rear. And you see the full extent of that pattern effect on the hull material. And the same there on the underside. Then for the engine trail effect, it is white, which would normally be okay had we had the correct nacelle effect, which this shield doesn't on this ship. Here we have the Discovery Refit Vanity shield. So it's a 2-tone grey hull material, similar to the Discovery one, just slightly darker. The deflector is predominantly greyed out, but it does have this blue and white illumination there. And again, just this very light blue here in the centre. It's just with the shape of the deflector, I think, is why we're not seeing the proper effect of the deflector, which is a very nice effect on most ships. And we see the white there for the Bizarre collectors. The light blue there for the nacelle. And then they've put this white pattern one for the main part of the nacelle, which isn't correct for this shield. We've got the red impulse engine there. And we see some almost scars, if you like, on the hull in certain places, which is part of this shield's effect on the hull. Then we've got some more of the blue illumination here on the underside. And then for the engine trails in this one, they do marry up with the shield effect on the engine. So we've got this reddish orange here, and this very light blue, almost whitish blue there. So if the cell colouring had been correct, that would have married up quite nicely. Here we have the Emerald Chain Vanity Shield. So we've got this brownish grey patterned hull material. And we see the grey with some very dull white there for the deflector. Then we've got this patterned material, which is actually quite nice. I like that. And same effect there on the main deflector. You can see the pattern in the hull material as we rotate round. And again, as I tend to refer to it as a dirty white, so it's very dull greyish white there on top of the nacelle. Again, some more of that patterned hull material there. Then we've got the right colours just with this pattern effect for the nacelle. Again, you can see the hull material pattern there. Quite a nice touch. Again, that greyish white there for the impulse engine. And then on the underside, just some more of that white illumination here at the front. So engine trail wise, we have the standard Starfleet ones. So again, that should be very dull white, as should the nacelle trails. It just doesn't marry up with the shield, unfortunately. Next up we have the Emperor's Vanity Shield. So we have the grey hull material. We've got some of this purple shading on it as well. We have this nice orange patterned deflector effect. It's a bit lighter on this ship. Normally that's a very dark orange, similar to what we have on the Bizarre collectors there. And we've got the same orange effect there with this yellow insert in the centre of the deflector. Then we have the yellow nacelle colouring there on the top. And you see these blue dots of illumination. So they are throughout the whole material and give it almost a Starfield kind of pattern to it. Then for the nacelle colouring, we'll have this orange. So that should be the same yellow as this. With the cyan there for the impulse engine. And we can see, too far, the purple shading there. touch more of it here on the underside, and some more of this orange illumination there. So engine trail wise, the engine trails are correct. So we've got the cyan there for the impulse and the yellow for the nacelle, had this been the correct nacelle effect for this shield. So here we have the Ferengi Vanity shield. So we have the orange hull material that we see on the Ferengi vessels in the TV shows. We have some gold shading as well. And we have this deep yellow honeycomb deflector array pattern. And for the main deflector, it's pretty much just greyed out with the blue illumination there and a bit of yellow in the centre. You see some of this grey shading here as well. Then we have the lighter yellow there for the nacelle colouring and some more grey shading. And the yellow there for the nacelle. The deeper yellow there for the impulse engine. That's more grey shading there. And we can also see this rivet detail on the hull material. You see it along the front here as well, and then you can make out the pattern within the orange hull material also. There's some more of the yellow illumination there on the underside. Then engine trail wise, it marries up with the shield effect, which is nice to see. Next up we have the Hur'q Vanity shield. We have this green hull material and some purple shading. Now we see this black shading giving a textured look to the hull material as well. Then we have this green illuminated material, and we also have this green patterned deflector. It's kind of hard to tell where one starts and the other ends. Yeah, same effect there on the main deflector. We have some more of that only green material there with the purple shading, and then the green illumination there for the nacelle. And green there for the impulse engine, and there's that textured pattern effect. And so you can see it a bit more here as we look down. And then on the underside, more of that green illuminated hull material, the green pattern lighting there as well. Then for the engine trails, we are yellow. Really should have been green. So here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield. So like the Discovery one, it has two different visual appearances depending on your faction alignment. So for Federation aligned, they get the look of the Starfleet vessels in the reboot films. So we have this grey patterned hull material. That's lovely blue patterned deflector array there. So that's supposed to replicate the deflector off of the Enterprise in the reboot films. Thankfully we are spared, well, kind of spared, you can still make it out there, the awful bizarre collector effect that this shield has. Then we have the blue and white nacelle colouring there. Touch of this bronzish gold shading there on the nacelle as well. And unfortunately we've got this white and dark blue effect at the rear of the nacelle, which isn't correct for this shield. We have this orange patterned effect there for the impulse engine. And some more of that bluish white illumination here at the front. And for the engine trails, we are the standard Starfleet ones, which would marry up if we had the correct nacelle colouring for this shield. Here we have the Kelvin Divergence Vanity shield on a Equinox character. So we have different shades of green there on the hull material. We have this lovely red pattern deflector array with a hint of blue glow to it. I really do think that glow should be red, you know, just with us having the red there predominantly. See a touch of blue on the main deflector though. And then you see touches of blue there. So the normal nacelle colouring on this ship is a blue hexagon pattern. Unfortunately, on this one with this shield, they've went with this blacked out honeycomb pattern there. Then we have a red honeycomb pattern there for the impulse engine. Touch of yellow illumination there on the top. A couple of touches of grey shading in addition to the green shades there on the underside. For the engine trails, it's the standard Federation ones, which would work if we had the correct nacelle colouring on this shield for this ship model, and if the blue had been slightly lighter. Next up is the Prodigy Vanity Shield. So this one is starting to become one of my favourite shields in the game. Really couldn't care less about the shield that it's from, but it's the hull material that I really like, and it's this grey hull material with this pattern effect on it. I really do like it quite a bit. It looks great on quite a lot of ships. So enough drilling over that. Let's get back to the details on it. So for the deflector, we have an orange and very bright white with a slight yellow hue to it. And then we've got this blue insert here in the centre of the main deflector. And we've got the light blue for the nacelle colouring here at the top. And unfortunately that's not the right nacelle colouring at the rear. That's more of the Sard collector effect of this shield, as memory serves. And we have the red there on the impulse engine. Yes, again, bronzish gold shading here at the rear. See a bit of the pattern detail there at the front. Now with some more blue illumination here on the underside. Now, engine trail wise, it does marry up with the red there for the impulse engine, the lighter blue which would marry up with the correct effect of the nacelles for this shield. Next up is another popular shield in the game. This is the Section 31 Vanity shield. Let me see, the hull's got quite a few different shades of colour to it. So zoom in and see the check pattern within it. And this cyan partial illumination there on the deflector. If they scaled that up a bit, it would have sat quite nicely within the deflector space, I think. Again, they've done the same here with the main deflector, but we've still got this lighter cyan colour there. You'll see that within the dome there, the Bizarre Quits is actually blacked out, which is the normal effect for this shield. It's because we've got this gas animation. We still have the orange. Then we have the cyan lighting there for the nacelle colouring. And again, you see that check pattern there on the hull material. We should have cyan lighting on the back here, but it's blacked out, so they've applied the Bizarre Collector effect for some reason to the rear of the nacelle. Then we have this striped hull material here, and the red honeycomb there for the impulse engine. Then we have the cyan lighting there on the underside at the front. Then for the engine trails, we've got this orange instead of red, the impulse engine. And then we've got this bluish white for the nacelles, so not really marrying up with the shield effect. Here we have the Shrike Vanity shield. So we've got this rusty orange hull material and a burgundy shading as well. We have a lovely big target painted at the front of the ship for the deflector. You can see the yellow and red there. Same here on the main deflector with this orange insert in the centre. And we have the orange there for the nacelle. This Bizarre Collector orange and white effect at the back. And this red and light orange pattern for the impulse engines. See this touch of grey shading here as well. And with some more of the orange illumination there with some more touches of grey on the underside. And for the engine trails, we have yellow and red. So I'm sure if we mix those two together they do become orange, but that would be better off if we just had the orange for the engine trails, I think. Next up, we're looking at the Tzenkethi Vanity Shield. So we have this green hull material, also got some grey shading and some black shading, as well as this illuminated panel lighting material as well. So you can see there, got this pulsating light effect within that panel lighting section. We have this lovely orange deflector array, which does stand out quite nicely with the black surround. The same here for the main deflector with a white insert in the middle. And some more of that pulsating illuminated lighting there. And we see the white there off the nacelle. Then they've put the orange illumination on the back here from the deflector with some more of the black shading. Yes, lovely pattern there with the grey and green at the back, this pulsating white light. You can also see that pulsating light there, which is a bit more stretched out at the back of the pylons. Same here at the back of the saucer, with the white there for the impulse engines. Then you can see the carved pattern within the hull material. And we've got white there on the underside with the lighting. Touch more of that panel lighting with the pulsating effect as well. Then for the engine trail, we are white, which would marry up lovely with the impulse engine, and had the nacelle colouring been correct, would have married up nicely there as well. And the last shield in the Dilithium store is the Zhat Vash Vanity shield of this sandy brown and olive green hull material. Almost like an army camouflage pattern to it, especially with the colours. And this lovely green illuminated deflector pattern there. Same here for the main deflector with this green and white insert in the centre. We see a touch of grey shading there as well. Then we have the green and white there for the nacelle. Then we've got this red illumination at the back, which should be green and white. Then we have the red there for the impulse engine. Some of the green illumination there on the underside. Then for the engine trails, we're back to the standard Starfleet ones with the red and blue. And that concludes our look at the Equinox. So as always, thank you all very much for watching. I had an interesting time looking at the new shields that I'd got over the last few months on the ship that I've had for a while. So that was nice to see, nice to do. The only annoyance for me is the nacelle colouring not being correct on most of the shields. As somebody from the art department said on Discord one day, sometimes it's deliberate, sometimes it's not. So I've no idea which one this was. Obviously, I'd love if the art team went through every shield and every ship and corrected them to marry up as they do on every other ship, so it's all the same. That would be really good. It's very resource intensive, it'll probably be costly, and let's face it, the visuals in the ship don't generate income for the game. So, whilst it's a nice thought to have, it probably won't come to fruition, unfortunately. So, mini rant over with. So, onto the links. So we have the STO wiki and the main Star Trek Online news blog in there. I have my Real Merch affiliate code, that'll get you 5% off your first order. I have my X and Blue Sky there as well, so you can reach out and follow there as well if you wish. Then on to other content creators. So we've got Casual Sab, Nick NB and MC Stu. Their YouTube and Twitch are linked there, so if you haven't checked them out, please do so. As with everything, if you hit them up with a like and a sub, as it helps everybody on YouTube that does content when they get a like and a sub. I've never really explained why I have them listed there. It's plain and simple, as I've learned a lot from them. I've spoken on Discord, on stream and that with them, and they're a great bunch of guys. They're extremely knowledgeable, very entertaining, so they're well worth a look if you haven't already. And so thanks again for watching, and thanks again to everybody that's subscribed. Thanks to everybody that gives a thumbs up on the videos. You know, the views, the subscriptions and that, you know, well on our way to hitting the YouTube milestones, but I'll go into that in a lot more detail in a update video that I'll be planning shortly, as well as upcoming content I'll cover off in another video. This is about my 4th attempt of recording this outro, and so far I've managed to knock about 10 minutes off it. So I'm going to wrap it up there. This was a final thanks to everybody that's supported the channel, and as always, catch you in the next video or the next live stream.